guys, it's DC and welcome to the Soap Sanctuary where all soap lovers are welcome. This is my General Hospital review, week in review. I don't think the writers like Sasha. That's why I titled it. It came in my head on Monday. I was like, I don't think the writers like Sasha, do they? But you know, honestly, on a real note, there are times writers will do stuff to certain characters because they don't like the actual actors or actress. I think Katie McLean, who now plays Jennifer Horton on Days of Our Lives, Katie McLean said in multiple interviews that they killed off Dixie and All My Children with the Satin Slayer, and that wasn't even the intention, because they felt like maybe she was getting too big for her britches, or she was being a diva or something like that, and they killed her off where Dixie had the death where she was killed by eating the pancakes, poisoned pancakes. Which is why for my Days people, if you ever noticed that one time Jennifer was offered pancakes, and then she says, no, I can't eat pancakes. I've had a bad history with them. And she said something along those lines. But anyways, guys, GH was a show of the week for me. I haven't seen Wine R&B yet, and I will because apparently they're having a crossover week. I haven't watched Wine R&B in almost 2 weeks, guys. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think the only interesting thing new going on is the fact that Nick has slept with Sally or something like that, I think. But I'm gonna try to catch up with it because they're having a crossover week. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna catch up with it at this point. But GH was a show of the week for me, guys. It had everything going on this week, GH. I gotta give it to them. Because Days has usually been killing it, but GH kind of picked it up this week. They killed off Brando on a Tuesday. I was like, damn, they killed this man off with the quickness. They killed him off on a Tuesday. Now, here's my thing. Keep in mind that if they ever kill off a major character like Sonny, that's going to be done on a Friday. Keep that in mind, that if they ever kill off a major character like Sonny, that will be done on a Friday. It's not going to be done in the middle of the week or the beginning of the week. Characters like that, they're reserved strictly for those Friday cliffhangers. All right? But they killed Brando off with the quickness on a Tuesday, even that. And honestly, I didn't think that Brando was going to die. Honestly, I really did not think Brando was going to die. I really didn't. I thought there was going to be more story for them. I thought with Sasha's addiction and him being her conservator, I thought we were going to see more of that play out. So when he was just like, you know, in the hospital, but I was like, oh, okay. I didn't think nothing of it. But then when he flatlined, I was like, oh, wow, they really just killed this man off. Okay, wow. But Brando's death had me balling. Maybe because there was Lost My Family too or something like that. Then, you know, so you're more sensitive to certain emotions you see on TV. But I was just balling. I was like, ah. I was just straight balling. Oh my gosh, guys. I was balling. I knew that something was brewing when I had a feeling when Sonny kept saying, oh, Brando's my cousin. He's my family. You know, this is the thing, like I say, you guys, and I always talk about writing in the soaps. And maybe because I also work as a freelance writer, that's also part of it. But I feel like with soaps and writing, you have to pay attention to the little itty bitty details. Like, you have to pay attention to those things. Because when Sonny kept saying over and over again, oh, Brando's my cousin, da-da-da, he kept overemphasizing that relationship, right? I was like, something's going on here. Something is going on here. Something is going on here. Why does he keep overemphasizing that? And so that makes sense now why Brando is now dead. And oh my God, guys, that prayer circle led by Stella. Oh my gosh. And you know, back to they love to pray. But when Stella led that prayer circle, I was like, oh my God. I was praying with them. I was like, and then I quickly had to realize I'm watching a soap opera. But I think it was because I had so many heightened emotions by other things. I was just so enthralled in it. But when she said, and I wrote down here, so I don't forget, dear Lord, grant Brando eternal tranquility and relief from all pain and suffering. I was like, sure. You know, like, that captured me right there. That truly captured me. They were all praying. They held their hands. And, oh, my God, guys, that just got to me. That just got to me. And, I mean, Brando's character, I feel like so far, he was the only person that's been slashed, you know, well, now killed, I guess you can say, that's had importance in a sense, right? Because with any good serial killer storyline, you have to have at least one victim that the canvas somewhat cares about for this to be impactful. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have something like that. You know, this question makes me wonder, like, who will be Sasha's guardian now that Brando never signed the papers, and we know what's going on with Diane, which I'm gonna get to her in a second. It makes me wonder who's gonna be now Sasha's guardian at this point. Okay, so now there's a link that all the victims are connected to Sonny. This is now the second time a serial killer is going to Port Charles, and somehow this is connected to Sonny. Text message killer, anybody?
Was alone. I lost everything. See, Sonny and Jason, death means nothing to them. You know, they have no fear of it. They have no idea what it feels like to be alone. They have no idea what it feels like to suffer like I was suffering. I was supposed to start with Carly. You know, the whore that trapped my father into marriage and betrayed him. Yeah, she was gonna die first. She was supposed to die at her home. But someone saw me.
Tisha.
I couldn't let her go. Yeah, I realized then that it was no fun to just sneak up and end someone's life. They had to know they were gonna die.
Text message.
I remember my father's last written words. I'm coming for you. It seemed only fitting that you would know when I was coming for you. And here I am.
And can I just say, like, Diego, even though he was a serial killer at that time, that man was still looking good. That scene. Man, I remember watching that scene, man. I was like, that is a good-looking man. Even though he's about to kill, he's trying to kill Sarah at this point, but that is a good-looking man. Diego was a good-looking man. I don't know if you guys remember, but GH was known, I think it was back in 06. I don't know which website did it. They said they had the best-looking men out of all the soaps. And there was like a men's general hospital calendar that came out. You know how like New York, for people who live up north, they have like the New York fireman's calendar where every month it's like a new fireman like posing, you know, with his shirt off, whatever. I think they had something like that with GH back in the day at the time. I don't know. Anyways, but this is like the second time now Killer is linked to Sonny at this point. The thing about it is that, you know, we all wanted the cast to be trimmed down. I think that's something everybody who watches GH is like, there's a consensus on. There was too many people in the cast. And we wanted the cast to be trimmed, but we wanted people like Austin or Cody, maybe even Dex, you know what I mean, killed off. But now Diane? Diane? I mean, Diane hasn't really been on in a minute. Diane is like comedic relief. She's not really a main character on GH, I would say, but Diane to me steals every scene she's in. And that's one of the things I watch GH. I'm like, why isn't she not given more scenes? Why is she not given more storylines? Because the actress, Carolyn Hennessy, she does a damn good job playing Diane. And it's always a shock to the system for me that they don't give Diane more meat of storylines. Personally, I would prefer I would prefer Diane over Alexis. I would prefer Diane over Alexis. That's just my personal preference. I would prefer Diane over Alexis. It's just Diane, because here's the thing, you know, we talk about this all the time, and I'll even hear Albert say in his reviews. When did it be okay? When has it become okay for us to just give, like, okay episodes, right? When does that become okay? Even when I do my reviews, if I feel like my review is not going to be good that week, I don't do it, right? That's how I roll my mind. Because if someone's coming on my channel for the first time, this is what they're going to see. And I remember I heard years ago, I was like in an interview, and that stuck with me. And I was like, that's how I'm going to do things in my life. Where I heard Dr. Phil say that the way he determines what airs and what doesn't air in his show is he asks himself the question, if this is the first time that someone ever saw my show, would I be okay with that? This is what they saw. I mean, Dr. Phil's kind of sensationalized as a talk show, but you get my point. But just him saying that kind of stuck to me. And I feel like when I do this YouTube channel, that's what I do. It's like, I'm very like, am I okay with this being the first thing that someone ever sees on my channel? Because really, the first video someone sees on someone's YouTube channel or anything they see of your work is going to determine if they go to the next stuff and look at everything else. So, you know, that's my thing with soaps. It's like, I always hear Albert say, when did it be okay to just put on an okay episode? Because especially if you're trying to get new viewers. Listen, you know, that was Guiding Light's problem. They didn't get no new viewers. Guiding Light was still relying on those 1937 viewers from the radio days, okay? That's what they're relying on. But they don't realize some of them can't even watch the show no more. You know? They were getting old, okay? I'm just being honest, they're getting old. And so that was my whole thing. It's just like, you know, you have to be very mindful, like, as soap writers, like, every scene, like, to the best of your ability. I know it can't be every day, but you at least want 3 to 4 of those 5 days out of the week watching the show that it has something meaty going on. You know what I'm saying? Which I'm going to talk about that a little bit more about this when I go into Anna and Valentine, which I'm so over that. I don't think the killer is Esme. I don't think it's Esme. Maybe it's possible it's Elizabeth Gwyneth Alden Weber. That's what I'm calling her now, because this Elizabeth storyline is getting on my nerves. And like I said before, serial killer storylines are only impactful when a character the audience cares about gets killed. You know, with Loving, with Gwyneth Alden, what made that storyline so impactful, the Corinth killer on Loving, was that she was the town's matriarch. And that was a shocking thing to do. It's almost as if, like, for example, for my One Life to Live people, if Vicky was a KAD killer or the Music Box killer, like, it would traumatize you, it would shock you, but it would be a good twist because you would never think it was Vicky, the matriarch of the show. You would never think that. You would never think it was Vicky. But I'm calling her Elizabeth Gwyneth Alden Weber.
To make sure she doesn't hurt you anymore. And she doesn't hurt Stacy, and she doesn't hurt Curtis anymore.
Curtis is something that I just can't understand because he was your son, and
Curtis needed more help than any of them. Curtis begged me.
Mom, please do this. Don't put me in the cage again, Mom. Curtis. I'm gonna die.
he begged me!
But I couldn't do it. I couldn't kill my own son. I couldn't kill any of them, but I knew I had to. If I loved them, I had to kill them.
And what made that storyline so good on Loving, like I said, is like she was a matriarch. It was just shocking. She killed her own son. It was a shock. And Elizabeth thing, I'm gonna touch on that one more second. Elizabeth thing, I do want to touch here because I want to go down the line in my notes here. I want to talk about us investing in the characters that we actually do have on GH. I was thinking about it the other day in terms of Epiphany, right? Because they're bringing all these new people, but I feel like you already have people on there. And I feel like Sonia Eddy I feel like she would take a full-time role on GH. I could be wrong, but I feel like she would. I mean, she was incredible on General Hospital Night Shift. She was absolutely incredible. Like, they've given some meaty stuff to Epiphany in the past, like when her son died.
This is Elizabeth Weber from General Hospital. There's been an accident. His name is Stanford Johnson. His mother is a coworker of mine. She was on the phone with him when it happened. Yes, she is. Epiphany, it's the 911 dispatcher. He wants to talk to you.
Hello. This is Epiphany Johnson, Stanford's mother. Yes, all he told me was that he's in Florida on business. No, I don't even know what part of the state.
Hey, it's me. I need your help.
He was on the way home, and for me not to worry. And then I heard tires screech, and a horrible sounding, and then nothing.
7. Her daughter keeps playing with it.
Is this what it takes for me to get quality work done around here? My son has to die? You act like you're doing me a favor because you're doing your jobs. Like you want me to pat you on the head or give you a medal. There are going to be food trays that need to be collected. And I haven't heard you say anything about checking the I's and O's. And either Mrs. Holt's daughter has taken off the ventilator alarm again, or you have a patient in distress.
They know you're in pain, and they want to help. You should let them. But if you ever feel that you need to talk to somebody, I sure as hell hope you understand. I know what it's like to lose a child.
And without bringing race into this, I'm gonna be quite honest. I think a lot of people could agree with me on this. Now it's changed with Epiphany here and there. They gave her the Marshall thing, which that didn't even go anywhere either. But I feel like when I first started watching GH, Epiphany was kind of reduced to like the sassy black nurse role. Like I'm just being real. Like, come on, tell me y'all didn't see that. I don't really talk about that type of stuff on my channel or like representation, those type of things. Like I said, I don't try to get this from the soaps. I just don't. I don't try to get this from American soaps. I don't. Or else I would never watch them if it was for representation purposes. But I feel like they always try to reduce Epiphany to the sassy black nurse role back in the day. You know what I mean? And I feel like with Sonia Eddy, I even remember once when she did the still Everybody Hates Chris, she played the sassy black lady at the front desk of the DMV, and I'm like, okay, you know, like, but they gave her good material on GH at the time. Then Night Shift, they gave her even better material. And Night Shift, they even had the Julian brothers on there, where it was Dr. Leo and Kyle Julian, and I think one issue was one brother was adopted And he wanted his mom just to understand, like, listen, like, I know I'm adopted, I'm still your son, but just identify that, hey, I look different and I'm a little bit different than most of the family. And the other son was gay and, you know, powerful scene.
Why are you here?
What, I'm supposed to apologize for being born?
This is my hospital. This is the only thing in my world that had nothing to do with you. All of my life, everything has been about Kyle. Kyle's a straight-A student. Kyle is this. Kyle's a good kid.
Leo, you have got to get over this. We loved you both equally.
We're not equal, Mom. That's the thing. You pretend like you love us the same, and maybe you do, but you have never stopped once to accept that I am different. I act different. I look different. Every time we go out, people would turn around and say, oh, that's your beautiful son? Is that his friend? The neighbor's kid?
People are ignorant.
No, Mom. People are honest. It's just they would see me the way I was. That's all. But see, you acted like if we don't talk about how Leo's different, then maybe he'll just be like one of us. Why didn't you ever accept me for who I am?
It was a powerful scene. And my whole thing was, like, even looking at that, like, I remember watching Night Shift on SoapNet back in the time. I was like, how come they're not doing this kind of storylines on the main campus? Like, this is actually good stuff. Like, it's relatable, it's realistic. I don't know. And I feel like there was more creative reign with Night Shift. You know, Bob Guza wrote Night Shift too. I don't know why they didn't do that on there. Obviously, another set of characters that can invest in is Brad Miss Wu. You brought Miss Wu on. Why can't she put a storyline where Brad is in that? Like, and I've been saying this multiple times on my channel. Why can't there be a storyline where maybe Brad is now taking over the business and he becomes a mafioso, or maybe he meets someone from another crime family, they fall in love, or maybe Miss Wu forces him to marry some guy out of like a marriage of convenience, kind of like how Sonny married Claudia Zakara as like a business arrangement, you know, and that, like, to get more power and to get a hold of the Zakara empire. Like, why can't they do something like that? And to me, that's just a missed opportunity. Because this whole thing where Brad is just floating mojitos with Britt in the Metrocore Hotel, it just feels like such a waste of time. And him just fawning over like, oh, you should go after this Cody guy, someone that she barely knows. And I'm just gonna say this about Cody and Britt, and we're done, because there's nothing for them being to talk about right now in this review with them. They have no chemistry in my eyes. Cody and Jason at times didn't even make sense. Not Cody, Britt and Jason didn't even make sense. But Britt and Jason had chemistry. Like, that's the thing with these soaps. It's like, you can tell, like, when people have chemistry or not. Andrew and Paul on Beyond Salem had no chemistry whatsoever. Don't even try to sell me on that. They had no chemistry. I could tell a couple has no chemistry. But Britt and Jason had chemistry. Britt and Cody don't really have that in my eyes, honestly. They don't really have that chemistry. But anyways, I'm going to move on from them. And on Valentine, I'm just kind of lost, like, as to why they're going after Victor. Oh, yeah, it's because of Charlotte. Initially, I felt like this was supposed to be about Luke, and now it's become about Charlotte and trying to get a hold of her from out of Victor's realm. This storyline is just, it's a snooze fest for me. And it's kind of like what I was saying earlier. See, this is the point I want to connect to when I was talking earlier about Guiding Light and how they never brought new viewers. I like these adventure storylines. I feel like GH has always been known for its adventure storylines. That's what got them out of not being, almost being canceled. But bring the newer generation into that, into those kind of storylines, right? They're kind of doing that a little bit, but, you know, like, bring the newer ones, like Anna fighting crime for the 12,000th time. I'm kind of like over it a little bit. I know it's like her character, but it's like I kind of like over it, and I'm not really invested in her and Valentine being together. I'm not really invested in them, in a sense. I don't know why. I'm just not invested in the two of them being together. I'm just not. I don't know about you guys, but I'm not invested in it personally. You know, oh, Christina Corinthos is another character they could be investing in. I forgot to talk about her. When Alexis was saying to, you know, Christina, you know, oh, like, pretty much just kind of like downplaying her life and everything right now is going with Charlie's. I feel like in a way she was kind of saying what the viewers were thinking. You know, like, in the sense of Christina's being very underused right now. She's a bartender at Charlie's. You're the daughter of Alexis Davis, former attorney, Cassadine. Your father is son in Corinthos. And this is what we get from you? If she was anything like her namesake, Christina Cassadine, we could be getting somewhere. Y'all remember Christina Cassadine? Christina Cassadine, you know, she had her vulnerable moments. I remember watching those past GH, but I'll never forget the scene where she tried to go after Helena Cassadine. Where she's not strong trying to go after her, but she confronted her in the jail stuff. I find that scene, I'm find that clip, I'm putting it in here. I'm putting it in here. No copyright infringement intended purposes. But I'm putting that in here if I find that clip.
That it was real. To put a face on something that is so evil I can't even comprehend it. I wanted to see if maybe I could forgive you. Or if I would...
What? Avenge your mother? Do to me what you think I did to her?
No. Stefan said to me that I have my mother's eyes, and I have my mother's heart. Looks at me, he can see her. Now I know that that's true. And you know that's true too. I saw the look of dread in your eyes when I walked to you from the shadows. That's why I came here. To show you that she's still alive. In me.
That's a character that you write for. Because every time I watch Christina scream, she's just screaming in every scene. Like, what are you doing? What is your storyline? Like, the way they write for Jocelyn is, I felt like how they should have written for Christina. Give her something to do. I don't think the writers know what to do with her right now, though. That's what I honestly, truly think. I don't think the writers know what to do with her. I really don't. I really don't think they know what to do with her at this point. And Alexis and Gregory, I guess now they're putting this all in the newspaper, and that's the way to connect them together. Okay, all right. All right, let's see what happens. Okay. Moving on to the next one. Jordan and Portia's secret. Honestly, what Portia could do at this point, if you ask me, she could just literally just tell Curtis, listen, she wasn't sure if Trina was his, she had her doubts, but now she thinks it's really true in reality, and that's it, case closed. I think Curtis would accept that. I would accept that. I would accept that. You know, at the time she wanted it to be Taggart's, but now she's getting closer, she's seeing that, and I mean, but of course now she doesn't want to disrupt her daughter's world. It's not like she can just do it, that's selfish, but it's like she doesn't want to disrupt her daughter's world, and Jordan is trying to get to the bottom of it. Speaking of which, Jordan coming up to Anna on the pier with a hook in her hand, I'm like, sis, come on. Like, there's a serial killer look, and you're just like, I wonder what the serial killer did here. Like, what? You just walk up on someone, there's a serial killer called the Hook, right? And you're just gonna walk around casually around town with a hook in your hand. And I get it, she's a police commissioner, so that's why she feels like she can do that. But come on. You know, like, come on, Jordan, come on. Like, really, come on. Carly's redemption arc storyline. I love this storyline, actually. I'm still wanting to see more of it. I definitely prefer it over the whole her and Drew love thing, because that was just boring to me. There's something to be uncovered there, and I'm here for it. I'm really here for it. And I live like a few hours away from Jacksonville, so the way they're portraying Jacksonville in there was like some southern city where people have southern accents and they talk and like, how do you do a southern accent? I do declare. Like, I lived in Jacksonville for a few years. People aren't like that there. Like, I don't know. I don't know. You know, maybe I was on the other side of the tracks. I don't know, but I didn't see people talk like that in those southern accents. I was in Jacksonville, Florida. I didn't see that there. All right, last but not least, guys, Elizabeth and Finn. This storyline is so confusing and not in a good way. Not in a good way at all. Now Finn's deceased wife is involved, and I really don't think this is another storyline. I don't think the writers know where this is going. I don't think they even know where this is going. But my guess is Finn's wife is still alive. This is my thing with Elizabeth. and you know, her being a supposed legacy character, I almost feel like Elizabeth has no use, she serves no purpose on canvas. Just the way that she's been written, right? You're the daughter of a legacy family, and I want to talk about this for a quick minute, and I hope you guys stay with me because you're on this review. I think I'm probably 20 minutes in at this point. This is why I always emphasize writing, and I'm going to keep saying again why it's important on soaps, because it paves the way. And I'm going to talk about this probably in my day's review, but the Quartermains, after Edward and Lila died, they obviously quickly put Ned as the helm of the patriarch. They set the stage for that. The Hardys and the Webbers, there's never been no proper continuation of that family. I said family. There's never been no proper continuation of that family, if you've asked me. And that was an issue I saw in Guiding Light when they had with the Bowers. The Bowers were like the mainstay family, but they never did like a proper way of continuing that family. And on Days, they did it right with the Hortons. They did it right, because there's so many damn Hortons on Days, but they did it right. Now they have Julie as a matriarch. They did it right. You got to put someone at that scene. On Days, Stefano's gone, but you kind of have EJ kind of sort of as a pseudo-patriarch, kind of like the Ned Quartermain of the group, where he's not really patriarch, but he's like obviously the eldest, right? And you got to set the stage right. You got to set the stage right so where it's not like when the patriarch of this person's gone, the whole thing just crumbles and falls apart. You got to set the stage right, and that's why good writing is important. I'm going to talk about this more in my Days video, but I noticed with other soaps that they had certain storylines where that one storyline paved the way for 20 different storylines come as a result. One example, and I'm gonna talk about this in my Days video more, is Vicky's DID storyline on One Life to Live, where her father molested her and she got DID. Literally, that one thing is something they were now able to play off for on years and years and years, with it making sense and without it getting convoluted or overused, because she locked door in the secret room. Then it was revealed that she had another child, Natalie, because her alternate personality gave birth, et cetera, et cetera. You see, like, they were able now to keep connecting that as time went on. And then when she killed her husband, Ben Davidson, well, Nikki Smith threw him out the window, right? You see, they were able to keep connecting these things, keep connecting and keep connecting and keep connecting it, because that was good writing. And it's like on Days, where Stefano was a phoenix. He could never die, unless they had Stefan O'Demira. That was a writer's way, if you ask me personally, their way of telling them, like, we're creating a new character in the show, but we're also showing that Stefano can't die. He's still, like, he's a phoenix. He can't die. He can only be reincarnated. He came back as Renee Dumont, and Renee Dumont, which was basically Sarah, when she thought she was Renee Dumont, she said that, I'm just like my father. I am the phoenix. My father lives in me. She said that. And I was like, you see, that's the writers telling you that Stefano can't die. When they had the microchip with Steve in the brain, they set the stage for that, because they call him the phoenix. I'm gonna go more into depth on my Days video, but with Elizabeth, they haven't written well for her. I'm not even invested in her character. I'm not. If Elizabeth would be off screen tomorrow for like a long time, I wouldn't notice. You know, now all of a sudden her dad, Jeff Weber, is checking on her. Jeff Weber has had 2 kids die in the past few years, Hayden Barnes and Stephen Lars Weber. He ain't checked up on none of them, all right? Where has this man been? And now Elizabeth's pushing somebody downstairs. I don't even know where this storyline is going, and I don't think I care. Honestly, I don't think I really care. The biggest storylines I feel like have gotten my attention is obviously this whole Hook thing, the Hook serial killer. I don't even know who it could be, honestly, and I really just don't have no idea at this point. But I'm open to it. And then Sasha, how's she gonna go forward now that Brando's not conservator? And I hope they don't kill Diane off. Honestly, Diane could be a mainstay character, and they could give her more depth as a storyline, because Diane captures the scene she's in. I don't know if that's just me. And that's why I'm like, I think about even Epiphany too. Like, why wasn't Epiphany made like more of a main character? Yeah, she's not opening credits, but why can't they give her more storyline? What's up with that? Sonia Eddy has been on the show longer than some of the other actors that are just coming in. And I don't know if she doesn't want the roles, or they're just not giving it to her, if it's a mixture of both. But I feel like she could carry some scenes. Epiphany to me feels like a real person. And it's not for the reason that you think I'm saying that, but there's certain people in certain soaps, like, they're on the scene, like, they just capture the scenes they're in, and Epiphany is one of those people. Diana is one of those people for me. So, you notice I haven't covered, Chase and Brooklyn. I'm not. I don't have the energy. I don't have the energy for me. I don't have it. I don't have it in me. I don't have it. So, you know, good writing is important for me. When Sasha was crying this week, I really felt that. I felt like that 10 toes. I felt that. You know, it felt real. And even her husband being her conservator, like, you can do unique storylines that are real, that are just different, you know? I do also feel like because we're in a very PC culture and cancel culture, the writers are very scared to do certain things. But it's a soap at the end of the day, guys. You got to realize that, right? So my guess is maybe Gladys will be her conservator, and maybe this will prop Gladys for some storyline, because even though her son is gone, there's the thing, like, even though sometimes some characters don't have no family ties on canvas, if you write from them correctly, they're still going to be interesting without having any links. They can still be interesting on their own. I'm telling you, it is very much possible that Gladys could even be a mainstay character if you write for her correctly, if her and Sasha will bond, you know, and Sasha will always be her daughter-in-law, and Sasha will be like a daughter to her. And I do think at this point now, though, with Sasha, we need to find out who her family is. We do need to find out a little bit more about Sasha, because I worry now that with Brando off screen, what purpose does Sasha serve at this point? She's not really that much connected to so many people important. Like, yes, she has connections to Nina and Sonny, but it's like, I don't think it's that much of a connection where I feel like, I don't know if I'm making sense here. But anyways, guys, that is my General House Week in Review. I don't know the writers like Sasha. Me and Albert have a surprise planned this Sunday coming up. I'm excited about it, guys. I'm excited about it. Like I said, it feels good to be back. It feels good to my reviews. I'm only doing GHN days this week, just because of timing and stuff like that. But guys, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Guys, let me know in the comments below, who do you think is the Hook killer? Who do you think is the Hook? That's the name they're going with, the Hook. You know, who do you think is the Hook? Maybe it's Claudia Zakar. I don't know. I'm gonna talk about the other killer they had on Days. That was a huge letdown. We're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into that. But anyways, guys, that's my General House Week in Review. The writers don't like Sasha, guys. Thank you guys for rocking with me on this channel, being with me. I'm gonna cut this review short. I'm gonna cut it right here, and I'm gonna see you guys on the next one. I'm out.